And what has been the biggest misconception people have made about you when it comes to competing in pageants?
The biggest misconception, I think, is that people automatically assume that I am overwhelmed with myself or overwhelmed with the concepts of beauty and outward appearance, when that's not the case at all. I think for anyone who's seen me on a day where I'm just being Ashley, I really am just being Ashley. I put on whatever, jeans, sweatpants are like my favorite outfits. I'm more of a tomboy than anything else. I just know how to turn it on when it needs to be turned on. And also I think that people assume that because I compete in pageants that I don't have a passion for education or that I'm not articulate or not intelligent in some way, and that's totally not true. All of the girls that I've had the opportunity to come in contact with these last 7 years have been extremely intelligent. I've met medical students, I've met journalism majors, I have met business administration majors, and they all have this incredible knack for being successful in their careers, and I think that pageants have really helped them to maximize that and to do the best that they possibly can with that. So that's the hugest misconception, is that we're very consumed with outward appearance and that we're not intelligent, and that is so not true. And if you have the opportunity to meet anybody who competes in pageants, you'll know I'm telling the truth, that we are not like that at all.
Miss Virginia 2008 Tara Wheeler coined the phrase "beauty is as beauty does." What does that statement mean to you?
Beauty is as beauty does is a statement that I first heard actually from Miss Virginia. Tara Wheeler, 2008 was Miss Virginia, and so she talked a lot about that phrase during her year. And one thing that really resonated within me when she was talking about beauty is as beauty does is that beauty is such a overutilized word in our society. The fact that people automatically think of beauty as hair being a certain way, makeup being a certain way, even a certain skin tone, a certain body type, and we're forced to fit into the stigma of what the media portrays to be beautiful. But what Miss Virginia 2008 Tara Wheeler described to all the contestants who competed in Miss Virginia America that year is that beauty is far beyond just outward appearance. Beauty is far beyond what the media portrays it to be, because a girl who looks beautiful can be very, very ugly inside, and it's all about how you treat people, and it's all about the way that people treat you. So as Miss United States, what I've tried to do is speak personally to as many people as I possibly can. As a national title holder, it does become difficult at times, but when I can take someone to the side and have a personal conversation with them, I do, because it leaves an impact, not just for me, but for this organization and these thousands of young women that I represent throughout my year. So what I think beauty is as beauty does to me personally, and the way that I've been trying to portray it during my year, is to focus a lot on getting in front of as many faces as I can and being personal with them, sharing my contact information with them, looking them up on Facebook and becoming friends. It's the little things like that that people realize really means beauty. It has nothing to do with outward appearance. It doesn't matter how you look. It's all about how you treat people in the end.
The community is ready for a plus-size Miss America or Miss United States.
I definitely think that the community is ready for a plus-size Miss America or Miss United States, especially because after this year I've really been inundated with the fact that beauty is as beauty does, as we discussed earlier. It has nothing at all to do with the size of the woman. It is about the physical health for her life. And I think that as a society we have become so inundated and so overwhelmed with women who are thin, and that's supposed to be the trademark of beauty, when in fact women are made completely different. No matter what nationality you're looking at, no matter what background or walk of life you're looking at, every woman has a completely different structure and a completely different DNA package. So there's no possible way that every woman could strive to be thin. I'm not going to be thin in my life, I hope I'm curvy. I like curvy, I like that word. But I'm not going to be thin, and it's because that's not part of my genetic makeup. And the Miss United States organization really taught me that you have to look at a woman based on her life, based on her lifestyle, and really focus on the fact of, is she eating the right things? Is she dieting properly? Is she advocating this in the community that people need to do the same thing as she does? So if she can do those things, and if she knows her body, and no one's going to know her body better than she will, I believe she can do very, very well as Miss America, Miss USA, or Miss United States.
As an African American female, do you think that competing in pageants can be viewed as you conforming to a European standard of beauty, or do you think it's affording you the opportunity to expand the idea of beauty?
I actually, that's interesting. Here's what I think about that actually. About 2 years ago, when I was Miss Norfolk, I believe, I guess it was 3 years ago, I actually walked into an appearance and I met a gentleman who was, bringing me into the event and who was going to escort me around. And he looked at me and he smiled and kind of smirked a little bit. And I said, well, is there a problem? And he said, no. It's just that when I heard that Miss Norfolk was coming, I expected you to be a tall, thin blonde with blue eyes. And that was my first exposure to the fact that there still is a huge stigma surrounding pageantry, that there are certain girls who compete and certain girls that do not. That very much still exists in our society today. When I visit elementary schools and middle schools and people see that I am an African American woman with a national title, they're surprised, especially our young African American girls who do not think that that's an opportunity that they can take in life just because of the color of their skin. I think things are changing. I think that they are evolving and they're getting much better, and that the world is viewing beauty as any skin type, any shade, any color. However, it's my responsibility, and it's the responsibility of all of our national and state and local title holders to let young girls know that. It's all about how society is going to be shaped over the next few years. And the leaders of our nation are the young kids and the kids in grade schools right now. We have to reach them and explain to them that beauty is not defined by color, that beauty is not defined by the grade of your hair or the size of your hips or the size of your lips. It's all about who you are and what you want to do with your life and how you plan to be a vessel to make this community better. So ultimately, I do think it is an opportunity for women from all walks of life, and it really just depends on the content of your character.
And what do you want your legacy to be when you stop competing in pageants?
When I stop competing in pageants, and of course this is going to be my last year competing in pageants, so after this year, what I would like my legacy to be is pretty much one word: it's perseverance. A lot of people think that national title holders compete in a local and then they compete at state and then they win nationals and they're just amazing people and that's just how it happens, but that's totally not true. It took me 7 years to get a national title, and it took me almost just that long. Just a few months before that was my first state title ever. So there were plenty of times where I could have given up. There were plenty of times where I could have thrown in the towel and focused on school. I could have focused on a music career. I could have done all these different things, but something told me to keep going and to keep progressing and learning from my mistakes and getting better. And because of that, I am where I am today, and again, I'm so thankful for that opportunity. But that's what I want to portray, not only to other girls that are deciding to compete in pageants, but young girls across the nation. Whatever you want to do, whether it's be a singer, dancer, lawyer, doctor, whatever it is that you want to do, persevere. There are going to be plenty of obstacles placed in your way, and they are meant to take you out. But if you persevere through it, and if you move through it, you will get what's purposed for you. And so, if nothing else, if I can inspire someone else, a young boy, a young girl, a grown man, a grown woman, whoever, if I can inspire them to keep going towards their dreams and to not give up on themselves and the purpose for their life, then my legacy in competing in pageants all these 7 years is complete.
Thank you.